1340 KVGC on the phone with me, Douglas Viviani of Everything Old is New Again. You can listen to Douglas and David Cohen right here on 1340 KVGC every Saturday night at 6 o'clock and every Sunday night at 6. They anchor our evening programming. And Douglas, welcome to another week here in California.
Oh, it's terrific to be here. I have to say two words, play ball. I didn't say that as good as I could have. Play ball! There we go. You know, of course, opening day for baseball. I actually took the day off. In New York, it's sort of a holiday. I don't know what it's like over there. But the Yankees were playing, we're going to be opening day a couple days back, and we were all excited to day off and going to go to the bars ahead of time, and how some hot dogs are ready to be consumed, and a great game and so forth. And as usual in New York, one out of two times it rained out.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The following day, everybody had to take off work again and enjoy the game. But so it's not been too productive in New York these days. But just love it. I don't know what's opening day. Is it any big deal out there or what?
Yeah, we had opening day yesterday for the Giants at home. And we beat the Dodgers, which was good news. My boys, Jake and Joey, are going down to see the game tonight, and then Jake's going back tomorrow. Jake has hooked up with a couple that have tickets about 4 rows up and just outside the home plate area at AT&T Park. And
wow, is it getting television time with like foul balls or whatever?
Yeah,
or no?
yeah. I mean, you actually can see the seats when they're just, you know how they frame the shot.
Yep.
And they're just off to the, if we're looking at it, just off to the right is where they would be. Okay, so yeah, they're going to get some time. But Jake ran into these people on StubHub. He was looking for some tickets, and this is a couple that retired. They sound like they might be a little wealthy because they're going to the Hamptons for a month, and they're not going to be able to go, and they're going to go here and they're going to go there, and so they've offered Jake first chance at the tickets, and they're selling them to him for $50 a ticket, and these are like tickets that are going hundreds of dollars. But apparently my cousin's a season ticket holder too, and they say if you find somebody that will buy the tickets from you, it's better to have, like the bird in the hand worth the two in the bush type thing.
Right.
So they know that he's going to buy, and he's already, doesn't have the money for it, but he's already, committed for some tickets. But so they're going, so they're doing the whole thing. They're driving from here to Pleasanton. They're going to get on BART and ride BART on into the city, get off, and then the AT&T Park's a few blocks from the bar. Well, it's kind of a little jaunt. They'll probably jump on a little Muni. But, yeah, they're all excited. So that's what we're doing. I watched the game yesterday. I snuck home, got into it about the 5th inning. But, baseball, I like baseball. I don't like basketball. I don't care what's going on. I don't do brackets, in the March Madness. And when the NBA playoffs come, all you need to do is watch the last game of the series in the last 2 minutes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's very true. It's funny, Villanova just won. My niece is a freshman at Villanova, and all of a sudden my sister became, her mom became a huge fan of college basketball, and my wife was like, she's sending out notes and pray for them, and they're playing tonight and all this stuff. And my wife talks to my other niece and says, is Lorraine, has she ever really even been into basketball? No. So it's that too. If you've got a rooting interest, you could go for it. But other than that,
no.
It's not like baseball. Baseball's more a cultural thing. It's so much fun. You get out there, and I got some great memories of opening day. I remember, now this is of course Shea Stadium in New York, but Gary Carter hitting a home run in the 10th inning in '85 and '83. I remember Tom Seaver returning. And you just have these memories. In '98, I was at the Yankee Stadium. I look across the way. We had great seats there for about 10 years behind third base. And I look across behind first base, and I see this familiar figure. I look, what? And there's Santa. Santa was there because it was about 35 degrees and actually snowing in '98, if you remember that. You probably don't remember. That happened. We had '86 was fun. Right before the Mets won the World Series. The first opening day, of course, we didn't know it was going to happen, but it was a popular team. We didn't realize that either. That it was very rare in the early 80s for the Mets to be so popular. We decided, let's go. I was in law school. Let's go see the game. We figure we'll buy tickets the day of. We arrived. The Colorado Rockies' first game of their, I guess, ever. They just started.
Inaugural season.
And the game was sold out. So, law school guys are thinking, we got to figure something out here. We're not just going to go back to school. It was a school day, of course, and we took off.
Right.
So I had the idea, let's buy tickets to the game, number 2, the following game. The tickets look exactly the same. It just has a different date. But there was no scanning and all that like they do now. So you could just walk in through the turnstiles, kind of cover up the date, show the ticket, have it ripped, and in we were in to enjoy the game. We just sat from seat to seat. When people went up to go to get a hot dog or something, we'd steal their seat for a few minutes. So there's we were probably the cause of all these barcodes at this point being on these tickets.
There you go. There you go.
A lot of fun.
We had a similar situation to that. It was an opening weekend. A friend of mine had tickets, 4 tickets, had given them to myself. In fact, Teresa and I were dating at the time, and we gave them to to another couple that were good friends of ours, but didn't live here in Jackson. They were living in Modesto at the time. We're going to meet. We're going to go down. Okay, we'll meet in Stockton, and then we'll just head on down there. Well, we still use this as kind of an antidote for traveling to this day. We have to stop and pick up some diapers, a broom, and a case of beer. And what that means is we didn't make it to the game until about the 5th inning because we were following them. They picked up 3 other people who were going to buy tickets at the game. They had to stop and buy diapers for their baby. They had to stop and buy a broom. Don't know why we stopped and bought a broom. And they stopped and bought a case of beer, and we're drinking. We made 3 stops plus bathroom stops between Stockton and San Francisco's was Candlestick. And I'm serious. And it's like, what the heck are we even following? Let's just go. But we didn't. We followed them. And so we showed up. I think it was like the 4th inning. And, you're trying to weed your way through and get to your seat. And the seats were, they were free. And I know why they were free, because they were way at the top of the stadium. And but anyway, you know what? We made it. It was fun. And it was one of those adventures when you were a kid. Would I do it today? No. I'd say no, thank you. No.
But it definitely is, it's one of those things. I don't know. It's just like it's opening day, and you feel that spring is here, especially when you have these huge change of seasons, and it's changing over to the birds are out and a whole bit, and when baseball comes around, it's just every team, even the lowliest of lows, you've got that hope. Spring's eternal. That you're going to do something great. So I don't know. It's a lot of fun to see seasons on. And
I just want to say right now, I just want to give condolences to all Met fans, and you guys are going to have a good season. You're going to fall short, but you will have a good season. So congratulations. And that's
interesting.
About it.
We signed Cespedes back, and our team is basically in total is what it was last year. So we've got a little changes there at second base, but. All right, we'll see what happens. I think they're going to be a great season. We're going to go a long way. You got that pitching like that. You know that in San Francisco. Yeah. You've got pitching. You can go a long way. So we'll see. I'll see you in the playoffs. Let's put it that way.
It's a deal. It's a deal.
Now I'm looking. I see just for the heck of it. Nicholson's Music Cafe.
Yeah.
That's a local establishment, right?
They're in Folsom. Actually, the couple that own it live here in Amador County, and they have what they do is it's a music store actually. And a couple of years ago, one of the stores next to them went out of business and was open, and they opened a cafe for basically musicians. It's like a coffee shop, and Jake's going to be playing there next Saturday, the 16th.
Oh, yeah. That's tremendous. What time does he go on? About 8, 9?
I hope not, because I'll fall asleep.
As long as he's not on his 6 in competition with us, I think maybe what he could do is do a little reference.
There you go. There you go.
Before or after, you do a commercial for us.
I think he's on like 7 to 9.
Perfect timing. We'll put us on as a lead-in. We can play coffee shops.
So anyway, that's he did a great show a couple of weeks ago at Provisions here in Sutter Creek too. So he's
what kind of stuff does he play?
He calls it singer-songwriter music. You and I would listen to it and go, okay, but 20, 30 somethings all know it. all know. You know, it's like James Blunt type stuff and that stuff.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great stuff. All right, maybe he'll start writing his own. And
oh, yeah. Jack's Mannequin, Plain White Tees, all these. They're very popular bands, but give me the Beatles.
Exactly. Well, maybe he'll be the next James Taylor. Who knows?
Give me the News.
Yeah, the News is.
You know,
the News is the if you haven't heard, we did a little show on how we began, and Dave and I were in the News in our high school days. And it sounds like you were in the band or familiar with all that as well when you were growing up. So it was a lot of fun.
I did mobile disc jockey work too for years, and you know, at the beginning of the disco era and through the 80s into the early 90s too, and that was an interesting. Someday off the air we'll talk about that.
Spinning the records, I guess.
That was an interesting time. Yeah, that was a good time. So. Anyway, what's up this week?
Well, I don't know if you got a chance to hear our show. I know we promoted, you probably did, about Saturday Night Live, the second of the series where we had our behind-the-scenes look at what went on and what goes on at NBC Studio in general and in New York City, and in particular what happens on the nights of Saturday Night Live with our friend Chris Solger.
Yeah.
And if you heard that, you know, that's sort of gave me an idea that maybe it's kind of fun to look behind the scenes of a lot of different things. And this week we're going to take a look at the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus and what in the heck goes on. You like it or not, you got to admit that there's something odd about the circus and something. It's like a train wreck or something. You watch it as it goes by, and I want to know what's that all about. What are these people about? It's just never really talked about. The elephants are being phased out, as you know, or as you may know, from the circus. And so there's everything old is new again. The new news is the fact that the circus is evolving with the times. And let's take a look. His fellow was with the circus, a friend of mine, for 2 years, or a year and a half. And he's got some great stories that he'll show us. What's it like to be in the circus? And by the way, why, you know?
I talk sometimes, we will give away tickets when the circus comes to Sacramento, and we will visit with performers. We'll do interviews with the performers. And I always like to ask them a couple of questions. One is, how did you get your start in the circus? And the next one that I find fascinating is, what is a typical day? What time do you get up? Where do you eat? Where do you go? Is it like a professional athlete? Are your clothes washed and hung up somewhere for you when you get there? And you know what, Douglas? It's kind of 50-50. There are families that travel together in the circus in motorhomes. There are kind of the vagabond person that goes and joins the circus that's just a loner and lives, either with the circus stuff, believe it or not, or in hotel rooms. And, their days are pretty much the same as a normal person's, because like the ones that have families, they get up. The kids, of course, if they have kids, are homeschooled, so the mom or the dad will homeschool them. They'll go to work, and they'll do a lot of them will do other things in the circus, not put the tents up, but they'll do some other managerial type stuff, and then practice, and then they'll have a little rehearsal, and then the show's that night, and then it all starts again. They move to another town. So I think it's and I always thought maybe the circus would provide them with their meals. I mean, wouldn't you think that?
Yes.
They have to find their own. They have to get their own. So
and they're on a train. They go. Ringling Brothers owns, I believe, 2 trains, and they maybe 3 now. They've got the different. They split their circus up into a bunch of different circuses. They can travel the country.
There's like a north and a south. Yeah, there's 2 different. Yeah, right.
And it's amazing. It's just behind the scenes, and what are clowns like really when the show's not on? Like, what is that about?
What? I don't understand this fear of clowns and clowns. Clowns are clowns. I mean, what the heck? Do you think clowns are creepy?
No, I love the clowns when they come out. And my grandfather used to talk about Emmett Kelly. He was a clown from the Depression era, and I used to see the pictures of him. And I guess if it's something that, when you're a kid, if it's instilled in you with a smile, maybe you don't have that fear. I don't get that either. I think Stephen King has something to do with that. He wrote that book with the clown. I forget the name of it. That made everybody crazy about clowns. But I think it's a lot of fun, although the problem is I think some of them aren't that funny anymore. They had this one clown, Bello, if you remember this guy. He had his hair spiky straight up in the air. He is a tremendous clown, and did so many different things. He's the most famous clown there is now. He actually broke away from the circus and has his own, I'll call it circus, but he's the star of this clown show that goes to different venue. And I just think he's tremendous. But it could be a lot of fun, but it could be done like anything else. If it's done poorly or, without any modern jokes and just, with the confetti coming out of the bucket instead of water, after a while it gets to be played out,
Kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Exactly.
So. Anyway, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen every Saturday night at 6 and Sundays at 6. Everything old is new again. America's, the show that takes a look at American pop culture and how we got there, where it came from, and how we got back to it, right?
Right. Why are we still interested in the circus? And it's going to be a lot of fun. So play ball.
I was going to say, you ready? Let's do it together. Play ball. So, Douglas, have a great weekend.
Play ball.